Hi, we want to look at the interior of the brain today. We call it the sagittal section. I am Dr. Aidoo. I'm with the Department of Anatomy and Cell Biology, School of Medical Sciences, University of Cape Coast. So when we look at this whole brain, it's just one hemisphere. Okay, there are two hemispheres, left and right. So when we cut it in the midline and open those two hemispheres into two, this is one half, and this one half you are seeing is the interior portion, which means the other half was attached here. Okay, when we look at the outer portion, this is how the surface will look like. Okay, so that's the cerebral hemisphere, that is cerebellum. But we want to concentrate on the medial portion. So you can see that you have this region, which is the corpus callosum. Then you have this region, the midbrain, then all the way down to the medulla, and it continues as the spinal cord. So the corpus callosum is there. That space you find there is one of the first ventricles. So there are two lateral ventricles. So that is one of the lateral ventricles, and that is a septum that actually covers the cavity of that ventricle and separates it from the other half. That is the thalamus, and then below the thalamus will be the hypothalamus. That is the brain stem, which I say it looks like the stem of a tree because it is straight, like from the inferior portion all the way to the top, just like the stem of a tree. So when we start from the bottom, we are going to have the medulla, then the pons, and then the midbrain. So these three will form what we call the brain stem. So it's like a stem of a tree carrying all the branches and then the leaves and the fruits. In this case, the cerebral hemisphere and other areas like the thalamus, etc. So if this is one of the lateral ventricles, that is first and second ventricles, then the third ventricle will be around the thalamus. Remember, that's the thalamus. So where would the fourth ventricle be? The fourth ventricle will be this space. All right. So it means that the cerebellum is more or less covering a larger portion of the fourth ventricle. So this is how the medial portion of the brain looks like. That is the cingulate gyrus. And you can see all the sulci, that's the depressions, and then the elevations known as the gyra. And most of the depressions or the sulci, you can see that there are some substances that are permeating in them that look like fibers or threads. Okay, so those are the meninges. Okay, the meninges, there are three of them. So you have the dura mater, arachnoid mater, and then the pia mater. So that is how the medial portion of the brain, when the brain is cut from the front to the back in a straight manner, and you divide it into a left and then a right, that is how the brain looks like. Thank you very much.